Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert. I'm back with my Tuesday tea time with Chala. It has been a couple of weeks. I have been on vacation, just like pretty much the rest of the world. Um, Went to the land of tea, went to England. I can't say that I had that much tea, although it was much needed. It was pretty chilly and rainy, and we did all the scenes. And if you guys are following me on social media or have my newsletter, you know, you know the trials and tribulations of England. But of course, you know, it was beautiful history, queen, king, can't really outdo any of that. But so I am back and at it and looking at a couple of events that are coming up for myself. And top of mind for me is, of course, speaking. Speaking is the number one way that I get clients, you guys. Let me just take a sip. And I've spoken in pretty much every forum there is in the last 11, 12 years of my business, online, offline, like this, live stream, and hybrid, and you name it, in every type of venue. And one thing in common that I always try to have, that has always been the earmark of my success, has been the speech titles. So I feel like a speech title is the most important part of the speech because it gets people to the room even before you do. So even if they don't know you, even if they don't know your name, even if you've no reputation, no brand equity, nothing, you're just a complete unknown, you can make an impact at an event or even online with just your speech title. So let's talk about speaking as a whole. 75% of the population struggles. They say that they struggle with public speaking and they rank it as the number one fear. And there's a crazy stat that employees miss an average of 7 hours a year due to the fear and anxiety of giving a presentation. So that's just, they're all humans, and 90% of the population are employees. So then that leaves the 10% of us that are entrepreneurs. And what does it do for our business? Well, when they looked at, I looked for stats in terms of what does it do for, what does public speaking do for small businesses, and how much does it generate income? I can only speak for my own company and my own success and that of my clients, but it's a game changer, huge game changer. And in terms of stats, the only thing I could find was that 61% had reported an increase in career opportunities when they actually engaged in public speaking. So imagine what it's like for you to get visibility one to many in front of the right crowd, saying the right things about their pain and so on. And what that translates into is just a whole lot of awareness of who you are and how you help and what you do, getting to know you, like you, trust you in terms of your delivery style, your brand, and all of those wonderful things. Now, why is the title so important? Let's talk about that a little bit. And notice I have it's been a very long time since I've had tea on the show, but it's because I already ate. I normally have a meal of my protein shake, but my protein hot chocolate, but not today. Today I'm just doing tea, which I think went the wrong way. Okay. So why is the title important? Number one is because it determines the audience and the target, because then people say, is this for me? Is this not for me? They self-select based on what the title says, if it's a good title. And I'm going to tell you what a good title is. The next is a title informs of your niche and your specialty, as well as your brand character. So if it's funny, if it's off key, if it's rude, if it's super structured, or if it's very formal, it talks about who you are as a brand, but it also talks about what your niche is, like what is it that you do and who is it that you do it for. A good title should have all of that baked into it. So the next good thing about a title is, I remember one of my mentors saying that he would rather do a breakout at a conference rather than a keynote, because with a breakout, people actually get to choose to be there versus a keynote is everybody and their brother is in that room, catch all. While you may think it's better to have more people to talk to and to sell to, which in essence, if you're a small business, you're constantly selling at least yourself, then what my mentor said was that it's better to have people choosing, self-selecting to be in the room when you have a breakout, because then they've selected your title based on the topic, based on their pain. And I always say that a title, a good title or a bad title, can make or break your ROI from speaking at a conference. Now, I've spoken at conferences where I've actually paid $15,000 US to go and speak at the conference because it meant so much for me to be in front of that audience. So if I didn't have the right title, that could have made or broken my ROI. It could have made or broken me. Okay, so what are some of the tips? So golden title tips, I call them. And I have, let me tell you how many different ways I have of actually 5 different ways, 5 different tips of how to make a very good speech title that's going to pack the room. The first one is make it unexpected and controversial. So I'll give you some examples. One of my clients and I wrote, fire your sales staff, put SEO to work. Another one is, this is one of mine, was attract, not attack, a gentle way to get new clients. So again, remember, you make it unexpected and controversial. Human, beings try to stay away from controversy. So in marketing, attention is money. So we are trying to make things more controversial and unexpected, which is then going to get more audience, more attention. It's also going to give a clue about your brand character. So here's some other examples. Corporate confidential, what HR does not want you to know. Again, it's like pitting you against HR. There's people who are, the reason why it's controversial is some people are going to be upset about it. That's what controversial means. And in marketing, when you put a stake in the ground, anytime that you're doing anything public, you run the risk of hurting people's feelings or, angering people. Lord knows I've had a newsletter with people who are angry for one thing or another. Anytime you're in the public forum, you have to sort of chance that. So it's just another device to make your speech title more interesting. Okay, and the last one I wrote as an example for the controversial and divisive and unexpected title is, for example, stop the Facebook ads insanity, how to sell organically without ads. Again, people who are selling Facebook ads are going to be very angry, or people who actually pay a lot of money to Facebook ads are going to be angry, but it's going to be interesting to them. So they're going to come and listen to you. So that is one way to make any speech title stand out. Okay, what's another number 2 way of having a golden title is make it rhyme. Believe it or not, rhyming is a marketing tactic that for whatever reason is psychologically, geared to be more memorable and favorable. So I've used it many, many times. I had a speech called Wow That Crowd. Now, again, what I love is to use the mnemonic, that device that I'm telling you about in the first line and then explain it. So, wow that crowd, how to public speak to affect purses. That's just one of them. Another one is break out of burnout. Again, it's make it rhyme. Breakout and burnout are rhyming. And there is a rhyming dictionary online, by the way. And if all else fails, you can go on ChatGPT and ask it to come up with any of this stuff. Content creation is a breeze ever since that thing came on, online, AI. So making it rhyme is not the issue. Communicating the right pain point to the right audience in the right format is what's going to get you noticed and pack your rooms when you're making a speech. So break out of burnout was, again, something along the lines of how to manage and balance your lifestyle. So you could explain it in the next line. So it could be the subtitle. And the last example that I have for make it rhyme is communicate or dictate, which was a coaching workshop that I did about management coaching and coach style managers who were able to either do a tell or ask style of coaching. to their employees. So it was called Communicate or Dictate. So number three way to have a speech title that packs the room is be a reverse copycat. What I mean by that is take your competitor speech titles. So around what I do, for example, I'm a marketing coach, and then look up, or if you see or research what your competitors are using as their speech titles, and then reverse it. So for example, when I did this exercise, I looked at, I saw 90-minute marketing plans that get results, and I flipped it to the unmarketing plan, a different way to stand out. Another one is I looked up was stop self-sabotaging your success. And that was the speech that I found online. And then when you flip that is sabotage the competition just by being awesome or just by doing whatever. You could change that to fit whatever is your specialty, your niche, your target, and who the audience is. Number four device to make your speech titles interesting so that they pack conference rooms or breakout rooms is to change a cliche. A cliche is something that is overused and, or well known. And there's even a cliche dictionary actually online. So it has to be overused. It has to be known. It has to be well known. It can be part of pop culture. You name it. It has to make sense. People have to recognize the cliche to recognize how you flipped it, because otherwise it'll be lost. It'll go over their heads. The joke will be lost on them and the cleverness will be lost on them. So try to make it cliches that are well known or well known to that audience, because they could even change according to industry, or it could even change according to market or cultures. So I'll give you an example. Burn the candle at both ends. So this was a speech about time management. And the cliche, of course, is burning the candle at, oh my God, now I don't know the cliche. Burning the candle at, no, I guess that is the cliche. Burning the candle at both ends. Oh my gosh, I should look up the cliche. So that's the one. It's about time management. Leave no client behind. The cliche is leave no man behind, and that's for the army, but there's also, they're using it for children in schools, education, leave no children behind. So for this, it was leave no client behind, and this was a business development speech title. Burning the candle at both ends. Oh my God, I'm still stuck on that one. Okay, the next one is between a wallet and a soft place. This title is about fundraising, and this cliche is actually between a rock and a hard place. And I know exactly where it comes from. It comes from the Ulysses book that I read in, I guess, grade school. And it's about when he was being called by two sirens in the sea, and they were both trying to kill him, but they were both equally attractive. And so he was left between a rock and a hard place. So it's making a hard decision. And so this is about between a wallet and a soft place. Hopefully I don't have to explain what a cliche is to you guys, but hopefully that makes sense. So changing a cliche is another tactic of making an interesting speech title. Okay, the last one is quote their pain. And when I say they, it's the audience, who's in the audience, and their pain is what they would pay to hire you to solve. So here's a title example is exhausted and overwhelmed about your marketing with a question mark. That is so clear who I help and what I do to help. So that is the actual title. And I'm actually okay with having really long speech titles and having like hook titles with subtitles. These are best speech titles that pack rooms, you guys. And when the likelihood of purchase goes up as the qualified interested buyer size grows in the room, right? So the conversion rates are around, rule of thumb is 5% of any room will buy and be interested. And then anything above that is dependent on a lot of factors, including, the speech title and your content and how you convert on stage. And maybe we'll do one of these Tuesday Tea Time with Chala's on conversion from the stage. So the last quoting their pain example that I'll give you is, are you losing money because you can't control your P&L? This was actually one that we did with a client, and she was an accountant, and she actually targeted GCs, general contractors, and they really could not control their P&L. They didn't know what invoices were missing. Things were falling down the cracks. And so they were losing money. So that was the title of her speech, because it was literally a pain soundbite from all the interviews we had done when she had interviewed all the GC clients that she had, which is why they had hired her. So these are some of the ways that you can stand out with your speech title. And then once you get once you get the right people in the room, once you have the kind of speech title that's going to be preferred over the 3 other sessions that are going on at the same time, like often what I'm doing, it's kind of going to be what I'm doing in Colorado. They have so many speakers. They have more speakers than attendees almost, but there's so many breakouts, and they're even combining some of the breakouts into the same breakouts. You need to stand out with not just your content and your delivery, but your title. So I hope that makes sense, everyone. Last sip. Okay, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.